So markets have corrected by roughly 10.5% from its top. One of the top reasons cited for this is that, FIIs are not putting money in the Indian market. More worrying sign is that despite the market having corrected by 11% almost, which is Nifty 50 correction, despite that, itna sasta ho chuka hai market, still FIIs are not returning. For example, here is the FII data. So आप यहाँ से देख सकते हो. So this is the total selling that FIIs have been doing over the last few months, and you will realize that from the mid of 2023, they haven't been buying the Indian market, they have been selling it. So then comes a series of natural questions. Number one is that why is it that FIIs are selling the Indian market? Number two, is there something wrong in the economy of India कि भाई FIIs are not trusting the Indian market? Third and finally, and more importantly, is that how much will the markets fall? In fact, that's the wrong question to ask, but this is a question that everyone is asking. A better question to ask is कि see boss, in the last 2-3 years, people have made a lot of returns from the markets. Now going forward, how much returns do you actually need to make in order to preserve your wealth in the Indian market? Now why am I stressing on this complicated point? Because if you understand this complexity, only then you will make money. Reason is currency depreciation. For example, INR or Indian rupee has hit an all-time low against US dollars, against dirham and a bunch of other currencies, and this is actually a worrying sign. What is the right answer there? Let me give you summary also. The right answer there is that you actually need to grow your money in the Indian market. अगर आप सिर्फ Indian stock investing करते हो, you need to grow your money at least at 15%. I'll show you the mathematics also. So I will talk about these 3 important points. This is going to be a macro-driven, data-driven video. I'm not trying to take any sides or give you pro and con commentary against any political party. I don't care about politics. I care about retail investors like you and me. So I'm trying to give you honest information in a very transparent, data-driven manner. So please watch this video with an open mind and please watch it till the end. Only then you will understand. So let's start with question number 1 as to why are FIIs withdrawing from the Indian market, right? And what are the reasons for it? So number 1 reason is that they are actually putting money in economies like China. Now, is this true? The answer is yes. They are actually putting money in economies like China. Now, why was this the case? Because अभी तक हुआ क्या था कि after 2021, the FDI and FII money or inflows in China started drying up. In fact, they fell in the last 20-year low. So therefore, the foreign investors now they feel that they can make a lot of money in China. Therefore, a lot of money has started going to China. So this is actually true. This is part of the reason. This is not the exact reason. Number 2 reason is the depreciation of INR. Now here is the chart of depreciation of INR compared to US dollar. Now here you can see that since 2014 up until now there has been approximately a 45% depreciation of INR. Now what is the meaning of this depreciation of 45% of INR? से आपको फर्क क्या पड़ता है? Because many of the geniuses they ask the question कि यार मैं तो इंडिया में बैठा हूँ मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है, right? I spend money in INR, I earn money in INR. Well, for that you need to understand the concept of buying power of money. Buying power of money. Now here you will see a chart which depicts the last 100-year buying power of US dollar, and what you would notice is that US dollar itself has lost 95% of its buying power. Now what is the meaning of US dollar losing 95% of its buying power? It's very simple. So for example, let's say that in 1930, right? So abhi मान लो 2030 है for the ease of calculation. So in 1930, with 1 gram of gold, you could buy, let's say 1 cow, okay? And with $1, you could buy 1 gram of gold. And with that 1 gram of gold, you could buy 1 cow. Now then year turns by. Now the situation is such that with 1 gram of gold, you can still buy, let's say 1 cow. But with 1 gram of gold, you can't buy 1 rupee, right? But with $1, you cannot buy either 1 gram of gold or 1 cow. So what has happened is that in this example, the value of or the buying power of US dollar itself has corroded. Now ये तो हो गई हाफ कहानी. Okay, so हाफ कहानी का मतलब ये होता है कि ये तो सिर्फ US डॉलर की बात हो गई. What people miss is that see, US dollar is not the only currency in the world. Now relative to US dollar, other currencies depreciate. And some currencies like INR are depreciating really fast. Now, what I mean by that is कि पहले example में तो आपको buying power of US dollar समझ में आ गई. Now that was the buying power erosion of US dollar. Now what is USD relation to INR? Now the answer there is that every year INR depreciates by 4 to 5% compared to US dollar. जो US dollar की खुद की buying power उड़ रही है, that is तो anyways happening. But on top of that, if you are actually saving, investing in INR, then the money is getting eroded faster. I'll give you a very simple example. So right now I'm in Dubai in Middle East, and यहाँ पे if you open a bank account, you get the option of opening your bank account in US dollar, in dirhams. And if you're getting money in US dollar, then it stays into your account in US dollar. This is not illegal, but in India does not happen. The short answer is no. ऐसा क्यों? क्योंकि आपका US डॉलर में आता है तो वो पैसा रख लेता है RBI और आपको चुपका देता है INR. Okay, why? वो खुद बुद्धि लगा लो. I'm not here to start any altercations. I'm just giving you very simple facts. Okay, so the point I'm trying to establish and very important key takeaway for you is that INR actually has started to lose its buying power really fast at an unprecedented pace, and this is creating a lot of issues. Why is that the case? Now again, bringing the conversation back to FIIs. Okay, so if you think about it, what do foreign investors care about? Well, foreign investors आएगा 2024 में यार वो देखेगा situation that okay, see, I am going to invest, let's say in INR terms, hypothetically उनके पास US dollars होंगे, they will convert it into INR and buy like HDFC Bank or Asian Paints or whatever, right? And then they are going to invest, let's say 100 crores. Okay. Now what are they bothered about? कि अच्छा till 2028 अगर देखो ये 100 crores 150 crores हो गए in INR, then what will they do? They will, अब आप बोलोगे कि अच्छा यार इसमें तो उनके 50 करोड़ बन गए, right? They made 50 crores, मजे ही मजे. But did they really make 50 crores? Because what will happen is that if INR has depreciated by 4% a year, right? In 4 years अगर आप straight line depreciation भी मान लो तो भी 16% तो उनकी currency value वैसी उड़ गई. Okay, because they will be taking this money back to the US. This is problem one. Third key problem is that they will have to pay taxes. जैसे for example इंडिया में taxes have been increased from 10 to 12.5% ऑन LTCG इन एक्विटीज. अब यहाँ पे तो 25% का चेंज आ गया. मोर इंपॉर्टेंटली अभी बातें ये हो रही है कि डायरेक्ट टैक्स कोड लगा देंगे, राइट? ना डायरेक्ट टैक्स कोड में क्या होगा भाई, सबके सब दबा के टैक्सेशन होगा. सो दिस 50 crore ऑफ प्रॉफिट डिस्पाइट टेकिंग रिस्क इन इंडिया, डी फैक्टो दे एंड अप मेकिंग मे बी लाइक 25 crores. Okay, so this is a problem that is happening, and this is the reason why FIIs, due to the fact that there is massive depreciation of rupee and massive taxation and more importantly uncertain taxation, they are withdrawing money from the Indian market and they don't see a point as of now to invest when they achieve something called as hurdle rate, right? Hurdle rate क्या होता है कि उनका internal rate of return कि इतना तो मुझे minimum चाहिए, right? कि for example they might come with a specific target कि देखो यार मैं 16% बनाऊंगा, 16% I will make. So then maybe I will be able to take back after all that deduction, taxes, this that cut कुटा के maybe in hand after all this जमेलेबाजी I will, मेरा net return बन के आएगा 11% from India. So this is the number that they are bothered with, and this is a very important number that even you should be bothered with, and you should know your hurdle rate and the internal rate of return that you should be targeting in the Indian market. This is a very important point. Right now this hurdle rate is not getting met for FIIs. They don't see value in it, especially because of these two things, because depreciation of INR is not really in the hands of FIIs per se, and also the taxation looks very uncertain. Therefore they are running like crazy. Now some warriors will come in the comment section, उनका काम ही होता है फालतू हिलना मचाना, right? And they will say कि देखो यार आपने कहानी तो ठीक बताई, right? But see, salaries have also increased in India. Okay, I agree. But चलो कहानी देखते हैं in the last 5 years that what has happened with your salaries versus what has been the erosion of buying power of INR by using very simple examples. Now, in order to understand this concept of erosion of INR in context to your salary, let us do a very simple thought experiment. Let us say that you have 100 rupees, okay, right now sitting in 2024, and you go and invest in the stock market. Now you will say कि यार देखो यार स्टॉक मार्केट में तो 12% रिटर्न्स आए एनीवेज में, 12-13 तो बन ही जाता है, लास्ट 20 सालों से बन रहा है. सो आफ्टर 1 year दिस विल बिकम लाइक 112, राइट? मरे गिरे, राइट? ऑन एन एवरेज, राइट? बात करके. नाउ दिस इज पॉजिटिव कंपाउंडिंग. But at the same time, there is something called as negative compounding, which happens due to 3 different factors. The first key factor is the inflation in the economy. कि देखो next year in 2025, the value or the buying power of this 112 is not 112. Okay, it's less. Why? Because prices rise every year. Now here we can put up a lot of data points, lot of numbers. I might tell you that what your inflation or segmental inflation is 10%. Some will say कि नहीं 2% ही है. But the data tells us that this is roughly 6%. This is official government data. Okay, so this is sub 6% ही पकड़ लो. So let's assume 6% inflation only, right? Depreciation of currency is another key point, right? We covered this. So this is 4%, right? And on top of that, there is increase in taxation. So for example, if you are someone who is investing in the stock market, sitting with or making a decision to invest this 100 rupee now, you most likely will be falling in that 30-35% slab और आपका marginal tax rate जो होगा that will be somewhere around 30-35%. So यहाँ पे Mr. Mahesh Murthy, he is a VC, he had actually done complete analysis of this. I will link his article also. You can go and read it. Now according to this entire article, the basic point was that see, आपके 6% प्लस ये 4% तो ऐसे ही निकल गए. ओके, सो ये 10% तो दिस इज गॉन एंड दिस एडिशनल 10% यू हैव टू मेक पोस्ट टैक्स. सो सब कुछ मिला मुलू के कट कुट के आपको जो टोटल रिटर्न बनाना होगा दैट विल बी 16.2%. नाउ अ लॉट ऑफ वॉरियर्स विल जंप कि नहीं आप ये तो एनालिसिस गलत है बिकॉज इन्फ्लेशन एंड डेप्रिसिएशन दे आर सॉर्ट ऑफ टाइड टुगेदर. इट डजंट वर्क सेपरेटली. आई अग्री दैट वर्क्स इन अ मोर लोकलाइज्ड way. Okay, so this is point one. Now, what is the meaning of localized way? थोड़ा सा मैं साइड ट्रैक होता हूँ, मैं आपको बताता हूँ. For example, Russia. If you take a look at Russia, Russia is, one could argue, a self-sufficient economy in a way. वो export ज़्यादा करते हैं, import कम करते हैं, and therefore they run constant balance of trade surplus. यहाँ से आप देख सकते हो, they have hardly ever run any negative number here. Okay, India का ये रहा, India constantly runs a negative number. China का आप देख लो, China again constantly run a positive trade surplus. Now होता क्या है कि this argument of inflation not getting linked to currency depreciation, it only works in localized economy. There is a very high spillover effect between this first and second bracket. The reason is that, for example, an iPhone gets manufactured in the US. अपन US के products काफ़ी import करते हैं. Oil, all that stuff. India is a net importer of oil. Why do you think कि अभी the oil prices have been like at a very low levels, right? It has been cut by almost 40-45% crude oil price, but हमारा पेट्रोल तो नहीं कम करा. Why is that happening, right? Despite the taxes rising like crazy or tax collection hitting all-time high, why is it that no subsidies have been given to like general janta, right? This is the reason why. That we are actually consuming international stuff, we are importing a lot more, we have wide trade deficit. So therefore, in our case, the currency depreciation becomes a much more tectonic event. So anyways, relating it to that salary increase point, see, if you are someone whose salary is growing by 16.2%, then it's not a problem, right? So हर साल अगर आपकी तनख्वाह 15% से बढ़ जाती है तो wonderful, right? I mean, you are sitting on this 100 rupees. Next year you will be getting like 116 rupees salary. There is no massive erosion of wealth that is happening for you, right? But on the flip side, if your salary increase plus whatever returns that you are making from the market, in aggregate, it is not going above 16.2%, then it's a slight problem for you. Okay. Why? Because this buying power of INR is depreciating really, really fast. Naturally, now people will ask that, see, I'm spending money in INR. भाई आप क्या करते हो आप? You are importing stuff from Vietnam, you are importing stuff from the US, you are importing stuff from China. आप तो दे रहे हो ना उनको पैसे. It's not as if that you are producing that stuff in India and consuming it locally. That is not happening the way it's happening in China or maybe let's say Russia. So this is a problem. I don't know if you are able to grasp this highly complicated topic. I tried my level best to explain it. Please rewind the video and watch it. In case you are enjoying this, then you will enjoy a very structured course that I'm running. And it's a live in-person course. In fact, 2 days are offline, 2 days are online. An in-person event happens in Bangalore. The course starts this weekend. So it's going to be over 2 weekends, Saturday, Sunday. And it's a wonderful way of learning more about different styles of investing, right from stock investing to real estate investing to crypto investing. So I'll be teaching it in a very practical manner. So if you can attend, I will highly encourage you to check out. The workshop feedback has been excellent. It's very in-person driven. You get to develop a network also, which is the primary strength of doing these in-person events, क्योंकि आपको similar like-minded individuals के साथ you get to network. So okay, with that out of the way, let us analyze the third and final part, which has to do with the fundamentals of economy. कि ठीक है, अभी तो हाल फिलहाल प्रॉब्लम चल रही है कि यार हमारी करेंसी नीचे जा रही है. We are exporting less compared to importing more, so that's a problem. Unemployment rate के issues चल रहे हैं, whatever. So what will precisely reverse this situation, and is there something that can be done? So okay, so let me give you a quick download on that. So here you need to know like 5 points. The first key point is that see, markets are cyclical. Now, cyclicity of the market happens at broad stock market level also, and then it happens in like Indian market, US market separately, China market separately. For example, China market right now is rebounding. Okay, Indian market had peaked, one could argue, right? At least अभी वो breather ले रहा है. Similarly, US market has somewhat peaked in a way, right? So markets are cyclical. So ऐसा नहीं है कि FIIs कभी वापस आएंगे नहीं. Of course, they are going to come back, right? It's not as if कि they will leave the India market per se. वो सारे markets में जाएंगे whenever that hurdle rate or internal rate of return kind of makes sense for them. Abhi it's not making sense, especially due to uncertain taxation. I believe that they will watch at least like one more budget before re-entering the Indian market. Any sensible investor should, right, keep an eye out, especially if you have more options to invest across the globe. आप क्या कर सकते हो? You can definitely go and invest money little bit internationally. जैसे US stocks हो गए, मैं UAE stocks भी देख रहा हूँ. So all this data I'll share with you. Second key point is that तब तक हो सकता है कि DII वाले संभाल लें. I don't see more than a 20% market correction. I had already made a video earlier. Here is a video where I had explained that we are likely to see like a 15% correction in the market. 11th already हो चुका है. There is a good chance that थोड़ा नीचे और गिर सकता है. I don't think that the markets are going to correct by more than 20%. Third key point is that Indian market में fundamental shift तब आएगा when consumption data improves. Now up until in the last 2-3 years, if we look at why Indian markets have given good run up was that there was government spending. So government was consuming. Now the expectation is that private players will consume, but unfortunately that has not happened. Usually what happens is that when government spends money, जैसे last 2-3 साल में government ने spending करी थी, now that is called as capital expenditure cycle. Now जब भी government खर्चे करती है, bridge बनाती है, road बनाती है, वगैरह वगैरह चीजें, तब यार उससे होता क्या है? There is a goal with which that is being done, right? कि government ने इतना पैसे billions of dollars खर्च कर दिए, then what should happen? It should improve efficiency in the economy. And because of improved efficiency, the private spending should go up. Now, because there are more roads to travel, more cars should get sold or whatever, right? So, I mean, that theoretically should happen. But I don't know when this will happen. One key good thing that could happen is that, see, the world over, interest rates are likely to get cut. India is a high cost of borrowing market. यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा महंगे मिलते हैं loans. And as a result, हमारे borrowing rates जो होंगे अभी आगे चल के, so हमें एक unequal advantage यहाँ पे मिल सकता है, right? So this is actually a very good thing अगर interest rate remains low, right? So whenever interest rates are super low and economy like India really benefits from it. So this could possibly trigger a very positive consumption cycle, but this again looks like that it will take like maybe 1 to 2 years at least if things remain on track. All this impinges on our taxation system, how we are handling the corruption issue, how we are growing these small and medium businesses. सब कुछ मोनोपलाइज करते चले जाओगे तो कुछ बचेगा नहीं, राइट? देयर विल बी हार्डली बी एनी जॉब्स. फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे आप देख लो यूथ अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट डेटा. It is very sad number. So I really hope that this fourth point leads to something for the fifth. उनको थोड़े टैक्स ब्रेक्स वगैरह मिले, सैलरीड क्लास को थोड़े से टैक्स ब्रेक्स मिले, so that they get money to spend. If you add like direct and indirect taxation, then probably like it's 55-60% also. People are left with like no money in hand, right? So जब पैसे ही नहीं होगा तो खर्चे कहाँ से होंगे? So no private consumption is picking up, and it never will अगर आपने taxation structure improve नहीं किया. Now the hope is that after so much bashing, hopefully things will improve. That's the hope that we can all live on. But I hope that you at least got a perspective, got an understanding of how to approach. And so again, in case you are interested in learning everything from scratch, you can definitely check out my workshop, and I will see you soon on the next video.